expensive, we're staying at room 13. Usually airy and usually very, and that's just how my life goes. And I don't ever try to dress to impress. Fuck you, preppy asshole. On the 14th floor and a bathroom door don't lie. So happy we don't gotta worry about the cops. We could all get arrested for this, but when the police mix, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on a deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome into episode 27 of Phired Up, presented by the Belly Up Podcast Network, bellyupsports.com. My name is Mike Gilletto. Joining me, as usual, my co-host, Dom Consul. Dom, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I am doing just fine. I'm excited for tonight. We do have a guest. I'll bring him on now. You can hear him on Tuesday nights at 8:30, the host of Drunk on Broad, Rich Conroy. What's up, dude?
What is going on, my friends? How are we tonight?
Oh, we are doing fantastic. You know, it's aside from the fact there's a monsoon outside my window right now, the sky's falling.
Dude, I thought we were going to lose power because we're only like 4 neighborhoods away from each other. And I'm like,
Right, exactly, yeah.
what the hell is going on?
Yeah, Dom already had to restart his computer already. We were having some issues, so.
Yeah, we're not looking
You should
good.
have got Adele. You should have got Adele.
Yeah.
Like the singer or the computer? Adele, get
both.
it? No? Yeah,
Both.
so,
I'm not mad at you, Dom. Pimp hand strong. Pimp hand strong.
exactly. So, we can just jump right in now. Eagles lose one that, I mean, the score is probably a lot closer than it felt. What was the final? 33-22?
Dig my eyes out.
Right. So things don't seem too great. We did have some news come earlier, about they traded Joe Flacco, so we'll get into that stuff a little later. But what was your guys' takeaway from the game? I mean, clearly it seemed a lot worse than it was. What do you guys think?
Go ahead,
Go
Rich.
ahead,
You're the guest.
dude.
No, you're the guest. You're the guest. Listen. I have been waiting all day to hear this. I mean, you teased it earlier on Twitter, so I'm ready to hear it.
I'm just fucking angry. Like, it's so hard. Sundays used to be my day of coming home from softball and sitting on the couch and watching the Eagles, watching football, and just sheer enjoyment. I haven't felt that enjoyment for 2 years. And it just keeps getting worse to like the tipping point of I'm a fan. I did not sign up for this. I did not sign up for Sirianni's incompetence or John Gannon not playing to his players' strengths and having fucking Fletcher Cox come out and say, hey, I don't get paid to play screens.
I was just going to say, just like Fletcher didn't sign up to play against the screens, you didn't sign up for this.
But here's the thing. Everybody's taking that one quote from everything he said. And it is true that Jonathan Gannon doesn't let them like freelance, doesn't let them play to their strengths, doesn't let them just go on the fly. They have to play this particular defense where they're just getting torched. Every week we are playing against Tom Brady or Super Bowl level Patrick Mahomes. And we're not playing against those guys. We're just letting Derek Carr go 31 for 34 against us. 91% completion from Derek Carr? Is he that good, or do we just suck? Then we decide to give the ball to Miles Sanders. We try to get him involved. Then he goes down with that ankle because he slipped. Then you have Kenneth Gainwell, who's a back, who's competent, who made Tony Pollard, Antonio Gibson his backups at Memphis, but he only runs the ball 5 or 6 times. What the fuck are you doing? How can you suck the life out of a fan base and out of a team in 7 weeks? I've never seen a team just give up. And you keep trotting out Jalen Hurts thinking that he's going to win you a game when he cannot throw the fucking ball down the field. But Sirianni wants to play, oh, let's throw these stupid fucking bubble screens every other down. Let's see if we can get Dallas Goedert open in the seam. Oh, I'm sorry, Jerkoff can't hit him. Skipping balls to Devontae Smith. Like, it's not like, it's just frustrating to the point where you see other professional teams look like professional teams. We are maybe an ACC level college team right now. That's the level we were playing. And it's pathetic. It's sad. And us as fans, we sit here every Saturday. We buy jerseys. We buy hats. We buy mugs. We buy scarves. Do we not deserve better? Do we not, like, seriously, do we deserve better as fans?
I would think so. I mean, listen, they won a Super Bowl. What is it now? 5 years ago, almost. So yeah. Maybe this is just kind of karma. We shouldn't have won that Super Bowl. Basically, no, I'm just kidding. I'll still take this. I will still take this. You know, if this is what it took for a Super Bowl, I'll take it. Whatever. But it's because it's not just offense. It's not just defense. It's both sides of the ball.
It's the whole team.
As shit.
It's the whole team.
That's
what I don't get. Like, I get the new coaches, but I don't get how how it's so fluent through the whole team of just sucking. And that's not fair. And nothing will change because Howie will never be fired.
Never.
That's it.
Should we cue up the Jason Kelsey? It's the whole team.
that would be the perfect drop for right now, Dom.
I'll tell you what, Rich. I am fired up after that. I'm fired up.
I do like, but like to the whole Fletcher Cox thing. I don't get paid to play screens. I get paid to have sacks. He got one sack. He's getting paid what, $17 million?
Yeah, but that's also
one sack in 15 games.
Yeah, but that's also the scheme that they try to run is where if you're watching him, he is playing the screens, so he doesn't get a chance to sack the quarterback. And I've been somebody who's been on Fletcher Cox's cock. No, I'm just kidding. On his back about how his play the last 2 years, really, or last year and a half. But I do see what he's saying in the sense that, like, the scheme that they're trying to play, he doesn't even get a chance to sack the quarterback.
I don't think that he's actually had a chance to make a play in the backfield because by the time, so if I'm an opposing coach, I am Coach X from the fucking London Silver Knights, and I look at this Eagles defense, and what am I going to attack? I'm going to attack the linebackers. I don't care how good your front four is, because if there's a little bit of hole, they're getting 5 yards, a chunk, 6 or 7. If Alex Singletary, I like to call him speed bump, is out there, because he'll slow you down, but you're still getting an extra 4 or 5 yards as he's trying to tackle you to the ground.
Well, that's the best part about him is that, yeah, it's great he has 7, 8, 9, 10 tackles a game, but they're 7 yards down the field, 8 yards down the field, 10 yards down the field.
Or they're dragging him 8 yards down the field until they decide to trip over that one long blade of grass. It just makes me laugh. Like you saw yesterday, you saw Josh Jacobs just chunking out yards, then Kenyon Drake just chunking out yards. And I listened to Sirianni's fucking presser, and it's just the same regurgitated bullcrap that we've been fed for years now. Like the same, and you could tell, like I just feel like he's mentally checked out, especially how hard it is to coach in Philly. But I don't solely place blame on Sirianni. Yes, he can say, okay, like he said, all accountability starts with me. It's all my fault. And I know you guys hate hearing that, but it's true because it starts with me. At the same time, you have a roster that's not built to win. We are expecting a rebuild, but we didn't sign up for it to be this terrible and for them to keep trying to sell us a product. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to sell us Jalen Hurts by saying, hey, this guy is our franchise quarterback. No, he's not. We saw this last year in 4 games. He's not good. We saw it in college. I think me and Mike had this conversation through text of how terrible Jalen Hurts. He was good at Oklahoma because they played no defense. Put him in the SEC, he got benched twice. For Tua, who also has a rag arm, which makes me laugh. But in college, I guess the ball's smaller, so he could throw it a little further.
And you're the greatest college coach of all time. That helps.
And the greatest college coach. But when the greatest college coach benches you twice in 2 big games, what does that tell you? That obviously he didn't have faith in you at that time. And now you come to a professional level and Sirianni says, oh no, I'm going to stay with Jalen Hurts. I'm not even rooting for the dude to fail. He's just not our quarterback. And I also don't want to see Gardner Minshew. I'm sorry. I don't want to see Gardner Minshew because he'll have at least 4 turnovers. I don't need that. I don't need another run and gun, chuck it motherfucker who just wants to do whatever he wants to.
Chuck it motherfucker.
Chuck it motherfucker. What are you going to do out there, Minshew? Man, I'm just going to chuck it motherfucker. I don't even care. I'm just going to throw my jean shorts. Like Jason said, rebuilds are not good. They are painful. It is painful to an extent, but our 3 first-round picks are either going to be traded for a quarterback or it's going to be Howie and the analytics department making these picks. This is why I'm not confident and I don't feel comfortable with this rebuild, because you have the same pieces in place. We have 1 fucking draft pick from 2017 still on our team, and it's Derek Barnett, and he's the most penalized player probably in the league, and he's probably one of the worst players on that defensive line. What does that tell you?
Yeah, but even if they do package those picks up and get a quarterback, like who would they get? Say like a Russell or even a Rodgers, like. Do those
and they're
guys
not going to come here. Why are they going to come here?
Well, not going to come here. But even if they did, like as great as those guys are,
they're not going to make this team better.
No, this team has so many holes to begin with. That move probably doesn't even make sense.
No, I think it's dumb, and that's my whole thing. You don't draft a quarterback this year, especially with the college quarterbacks coming out. They're not that good.
I want to see at least 2 defensive players.
You need, but
at least.
But it's Howie, dude. This is what like we are having this conversation. Us 3. It's mainly me just ranting on. But we're having this conversation in the same tunnels that we had a conversation last year, or that we're having a conversation from the year before or the year prior. We say, hey, we need a linebacker. We need a stud safety. We need this. We get Kayvon Wallace. We get Alex Singletary. We get Eric Wilson, who's fucking trash. Like this is what we get. And they're not draft picks. These are guys, or well, Kayvon Wallace was, but you have guys coming over from old systems who didn't fit there. There's reasons why Minnesota's defense is a lot better. Look at the 2 guys they got rid of who absolutely stunk and now stink for us in Harris and Wilson. We're picking up people's trash thinking it's going to be gold, and it's not. It's just trash. And now you look at our roster and how bad it is and how badly constructed it is, and you still are giving the keys to the kingdom to Howie the Weasel. He will not turn this garbage to gold. He is going to spin it however he wants. He's going to draft his guys, and we're going to suck. That's the reality of it.
So let's just say hypothetically, that the Eagles demote or fire Howie, right? Are you feeling more confident about those 3 first-round picks, or are you still?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Dom,
I was just curious.
Dom, I would feel more confident if you were there, my friend. I would feel more confident if Mike's doing it.
But no, here's
all right, that I can agree with.
But do you understand what I'm saying? I would feel more
you.
confident than anybody else making those picks.
See,
at least we watch football. This guy does not watch football.
He sees the numbers, yeah.
He sees the numbers.
I think you hit everything. You hit the nail on the head for everything this week. I was just gonna say I think the root of all evil is Howie Roseman and everything that he's done to get to them to this position. And I was also gonna point out the fact that they don't have any linebackers and safeties, which you did for us. Which
who are some of the best players on teams? Like their linebacking core, right?
Yeah.
You look at some teams, you see their linebacking core, and you're like, damn, these guys are freaking terrifying.
It's how Tampa won last year.
That's what I said.
You're even seeing Dallas, who goes out and drafts Parsons. I don't know how much of an impact he's having, but their defense is better. Maybe because Diggs is kind of out of his mind this year, but their defense as a whole is a lot better after getting Parsons.
Look at the 2017 Eagles. They had 3 good linebackers: Michael Kendricks, Nigel Bradham, Camus Grugier-Hill. Like these guys,
they were good,
legitimately NFL, linebackers. The guys they have now, like I don't even know if they could be working at Popeyes next week. Like I don't know. It's crazy, man. And I don't think Harris has been that bad. But that's the thing is they need safeties and they need linebackers. Go get me the linebacker from Alabama, Christian Harris. Is that his name? Go get me the safety from Notre Dame.
He just got hurt.
And I honestly, I'm at the point where I was texting my buddy Christian, who's a listener of the show, earlier today about possible quarterbacks, and like I don't even care. I don't know enough about these quarterbacks. I don't watch college football that much. I like the draft when it comes around, and I evaluate guys at that point. But get me one of them. I don't even care. I don't. Throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks at this point.
I mean, they've been doing that for the past 4 years drafting. So I mean, it's not going to be anything different. They threw shit at the wall and see if it stuck, and it's not sticking.
That's not necessarily true. I mean, they have drafted guys that were good in college. It's just a matter of evaluating guys from college to the NFL. Like Rager looked really good on tape. He came to the NFL and he's not that guy.
He was a special teamers and he was a big play guy in college because he ran a lot of screens. Like he didn't his jump ball was atrocious.
He wasn't a first round pick, but
no, he wasn't. But I also, like I said, I don't blame the guy for where he's drafted. So
no, neither do I. I'm just saying. I think Howie. As much as I hate Howie, what am I trying to say here? I think he sees the talent on screen in college. I don't think he is good at evaluating from college to the NFL, which you need as an NFL GM. You need to be able to see guys playing college and translate it to the NFL.
I mean, that's pretty much spot on. If you look at like Devontae Smith, of course, he's going to be a surefire guy because he ran Chris routes in college. He has great footwork. They're the things you look for. Okay, everybody's like, oh, he's too skinny, he's too this. No, the dude gets open. No, the guy can catch the ball.
And he doesn't throw him the ball because he can't.
You
know what hurts, that is.
And when he does, he throw the little slants. He's throwing them 3 to 5 yards behind him. And people
how many times does he never like go off his first read? That's the shit that pisses me off. He just stares down guys, and I look at the other end of the field. I'm like, this guy's wide open. Everybody's like, oh no, he's supposed to hit this read. This is that play. I'm like, but if he just doesn't. Like, I feel like every time he gets the ball, he's like running for his life because he wants to run that RPO and it just takes too long. And then teams know we're just going to just blitz and we're just going to push through because you're not going to run the ball. Like, imagine if you're well balanced. Nick Sirianni, this is your fault. Imagine if you're well balanced. Look at that first drive. They were well balanced and marched down the field.
Dude, he looked like Russell Wilson.
It was a beautiful drive. That was the best drive the Eagles had all season.
And then
they capped it up. And then they capped it up by letting up 30 unanswered.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. It's it's so frustrating, man. And it's like we expect this every week because we know that they're rebuilding, and I think Jason pointed out. I mean, it's rebuild, but like they're just trying to throw it out there, like he is the guy, and like he's obviously not.
Do you think that they beat Detroit this week?
Ultimately, I think they do. Is it going to be tough? Yeah. Can they lose? Sure.
Yeah, we do our against the spread picks every week, and with a little teaser, I don't think they're going to win this week, the Eagles.
They're not going to win.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
Detroit's going to get their first win. They're going to be out-coached, and that's what it's going to be. It doesn't matter how much talent you have. If you can be out-coached regularly and your coach doesn't adjust and it's the same shit on film, you wonder why teams are just destroying you. And like you said, it was 33-22. The score is not indicative of the game.
No.
That game was lost in the first quarter. That game was lost in the first quarter.
Yep.
If Sirianni comes out and does the same thing, he is going to get shown up. He is going to get beat, and it's going to be like it'll be 27-23. But that's because in the fourth quarter, Jalen Hurts on a touchtouchdown drive.
It's like the Stafford effect. It's the Stafford effect.
He's the greatest quarterback in the world when he's down 20.
He's he's Blake Bortles. He's Blake Bortles.
Right.
How many years was Blake Bortles so good in fantasy because he just got garbage time?
Right.
That's what I'm saying about Stafford. That's Stafford in Detroit. His whole career in Detroit.
Yeah.
He was down. He went 8-8 every year, but he won most of those or some of those games where he had to come back. But he threw for 400 yards every game because he had Calvin Johnson and they were down 20 going into the fourth quarter. So, I mean, at least Stafford won some of those games, you know.
It's just so tough, like trying to be like, and it sucks because I don't like being a pessimist. I don't like poo-pooing, but enough's enough, guys. Like we have to look at this for what it is. And the sad thing is everybody knows the problem. Even the NFL guys, even like listening to Good Morning Football or listening to ESPN with Louis Riddick, like everybody says, this is Howie's fault. This is all Howie's fault. This is Jeffrey Lurie allowing this guy to pull strings when he shouldn't. When in the history of a company have you ever seen a guy get demoted, sent across a building, and then comes back and gets a promotion that's 3 spots ahead of where he left off?
You know what it's gonna
never.
It's probably gonna happen eventually, like across the street with the Phillies. Just saying. With Clintack, it wouldn't shock me at all.
Oh my God, he'll be all of a sudden CEO, owner of the Phillies. Like, how did Clintack get all that money? Pictures of John Middleton,
exactly,
smoking a black and mild. Just love it.
But so Miles Sanders out week to week. They have to address the running back room, right? They got to add somebody. Maybe we see Jordan Howard. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, he'll be brought up.
I'd imagine he would at this point, because you can't go into the game with Gainwell and Scott. You just can't.
No.
So.
Two small dudes. Like, I love Gainwell. I love his potential, but you need kind of a bruiser. So you have to bring. But it's so funny because Jordan Howard's going to get brought up, and they're going to use him once.
Right.
Right.
That's the funny
They're not
thing.
even going to use him in the right spot. They're not even going to use him on the goal line.
They should just go without running backs. That would be hilarious. And it's just like, nope, this is what we're going to do. 5 wide all game.
At least
try to
to
stop
it.
us. Yeah, commit to it. Like, go out and go Madden on it. Just 5 wide the whole time.
Yeah,
Just fucking go.
They're just gonna run Jordan Howard on like 2nd and 10 in the middle of the second quarter, and then you'll just never hear from him again.
It's like, oh, Jordan Howard's in the game. Wait, what? Right. Yeah, what happened? Tackle for no gain.
Right.
Okay, cool. His stat line's going to be 1 for 0. Like,
Right.
yeah, that's the Eagles. But see, this is the stuff that, like, it sucks because this is the shit that we have to talk about. Even on our podcast, it gets so fucking boring talking about shit teams. And you just poo-poo, and then everybody goes, you're so negative. Why don't you look at the bright side? If you tell me what the bright side is to the Eagles, I'll give you $20.
Right, and that's the negative
There
part
is
is
none.
the most negative part is the fact that they suck, and with Howie in charge, it's just we have nothing to look forward to in this draft. So where is the light at the end of the tunnel?
The Flyers.
There you go.
Flyers. I'm all aboard. Choo choo. And
go.
the Sixers. Sixers looked good last night. I'll let you guys transition to that, but I am going to go. I have to finish up my lesson plan. Gentlemen, it was a great time talking to you guys. Good luck in fantasy, because
I was about to bring it up.
I believe, Mike, you're not kicking ass, but Dom is.
No, I'm getting absolutely smoked. I couldn't start a second quarterback this week. Couldn't find a guy on the. Kirk Cousins had a bye.
There's none.
Yeah,
There's none.
There's
So
none.
I had to start some random guy. I forget who.
Right, and a big reason I wanted you on, Rich, is because I do play you this upcoming week. So I wanted to trash talk a little bit, prepare to get a couple L's.
All right, so here's the thing. I got Najee Harris coming back. I got CeeDee Lamb coming back. I got, I think my tight end will be back. And nobody else is on bye for me. So it's going to be really good. Like, I'm super excited.
I'm in trouble then. I did lose Zach Wilson, so that's probably a good thing for my lineup because he is fucking terrible.
I'm putting $10 on Joe Flacco right now.
There you go.
You better bid higher than me, son of a bitch.
I'll bid $11. I'll bid $11.
Dude, please just take them and have fun. Take them and have fun. It's going to be great.
Well, listen, this is a lot of fun. Next time you have some time, we'll have you on. We'll talk a little longer.
Yeah, no, it's completely my fault when you text me that. I'm like, oh shit, good. Yeah.
Fine.
Dude, I know, dude. I need to get a planner. Like, I know it's like I have stuff like notes in my phone and shit, but dude, life is so crazy.
It is.
Yep.
Especially when you're 32 and you're back in college. Like, it's
not enough hours in the day. Seriously.
No, dude.
Hey, man, I'm 25 and I'm in school too. So full-time work, full-time school. I hear you, man. It's not enough hours in the day.
No, if I had 27, I'd probably still be busy as fuck. So
right.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
But gentlemen, you guys are great. Mike, Dom, thank you so much. We'll catch up soon. All right, boys?
All right, absolutely. See you. Take it easy.
Later.
That was Rich.
Always
Drunk
fun.
on Broad. He is, yeah. We actually went a little longer. He told me he had like 15, 20 minutes, and we're like, all right, so we're about 25, so. He's a good dude. Definitely check out their show, Drunk on Broad.
Definitely one of the best around.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, I guess that's a good transition. Did you have anything else Eagles wise before we move on to Sixers?
No, I think he hit it nailed right on the head. I mean, it was a disappointing week. There were a lot of garbage stats at the end.
Did you want to talk about this Joe Flacco trade too that just happened?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Yeah, they trade Joe Flacco.
It's sometimes it's usually rare when we get like breaking news before the show. So.
Right before the show, usually like probably happens after.
Right.
It's like, all right, cool. Now our news is irrelevant. But yeah, they trade him to the Jets for a 6th-round pick, could be a 5th depending on playing time. I don't know what that condition is, but I mean, to me, a 6th-round pick's whatever. But you get something basically for free. Like, it was a random signing. Flacco was never really intended to ever play here, so it's it's whatever.
I'll take it. It's a salary dump. I don't have to worry about watching him.
Why would the Jets want Flacco? Because they're the New York Jets.
Right.
That's why they would. And their rookie quarterback got hurt, but I guess they have nobody else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think it's just I think they're just trying to sell their fan base on, look, we're trying to win. We brought in Joe Flacco, who sucked for us 2 years ago. So,
right.
Or last year, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, I mean, and this obviously opens up the door for Gardner Minshew to be the backup quarterback.
Right.
Maybe we see him as the starter.
And they brought in this
point,
quarterback too.
But brought in what quarterback?
They brought in this new quarterback off of waivers.
Oh, really? I didn't even see that.
They, from Miami, I forget his name. They brought him in. They cut Rick Lovato, the long snapper. So
okay.
So they at 4 o'clock today or 3 o'clock today, they had 4 quarterbacks and no long snapper.
Which, but like. Football's such an odd sport that you have somebody just be a long snapper. Like you're telling me an offensive lineman can't figure out a way to snap the ball 10 yards,
right?
Or 15 yards, whatever
like
it is.
Backup center, right?
Yeah, you can't train somebody to do that. What do you need?
But those guys
one guy
play
to do one thing for.
Those guys play like fucking 20 years.
Yeah,
like John Dorenbos played from like 99 to like 2017.
They don't take any contact.
No, I'm just saying.
You know? Well, you have to it's no wear and tear. You just bend over, snap a ball 10 yards, and you're done. You do that like twice a game, 3 times a game.
I hear you. It's definitely weird that it takes a spot on the 53-man roster. Like, I don't know.
Shit is not as easy
strange.
as you think. It's a long. If a center can snap the ball 5 yards, I'm pretty sure that exact center can snap it another 5 and make it 10 yards. You definitely don't need to have one guy do one job, and that's his only job.
Fuck it. You know what? Fuck it. I'm on. Yeah, it is. It's not as easy as it looks. There you go.
Oh, no.
Fuck you, Mike.
That. No. I don't like where the show.
I'm on that side.
No, I don't like where the show's headed. I don't. But before we get into Sixers talk, because I almost did forget about it. Let's do the against the spread picks. You have a game going right now. You have the over tonight, I believe. What's the score of that game? Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll use my line. Right now, hold on. Goddamn ads on the score. It's 7-3 right now. So the over's it's a little too early to tell.
DK scored, right?
He did score. Yeah, that was the first play of the first drive of the game, 84-yard touchdown. Yeah. So 7-3 in the second quarter. Okay. So, but so far I caught up to you. I'm like 1.5. I'm 1.5 games behind you. I think I went 4-1 this week.
How was it 1.5? Oh, gotcha.
Because you still have a game tonight.
Right,
if you lose that game, I'll be 1 game back.
I got you.
If you win that game, I'll be 2 games.
What did I have?
You had, let me see here. Let me pull this up. So you had the Panthers -3 against the Giants.
No, I mean for tonight's.
Oh, sorry. Over 42.5.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, it's not looking good.
Oh, wait, no. I lied. You didn't have that game. You had the Broncos-Browns over 42.5.
Way to go.
Hold
Way to
on.
go. No,
What was the final score of that game?
I think it was 31.
Was it 31?
Yeah, it was 17-14 or something.
Oh, well, then you lost that as well.
Yeah, I lost. Yeah, so
okay,
I'm a game ahead.
All right. I don't know how the hell I missed that. So, all right, there. So, yeah, so only here. All right. It's fine. This is a clusterfuck as it is. It's all right. Everything's going to be okay.
Way to go, Mike.
So, I'm 17-18, and you're 18-17.
That's a good year.
18-17 or 17-18? Or both?
Both.
Fuck it. Why not? All right. So, do you want to go first? You know what? It's such a good week. I'll go first. I'm feeling confident.
Just go fuck myself.
I'm feeling cocky and confident. It's fine. Okay. That's a little harsh. I'm a little upset. All right. Anyway,
you suck, Mike. That's what it says.
That's a comment for the listeners. Nobody, if you are listening, I do suggest you watch live. Every Monday at 9:00. It's fine. So I alluded to it earlier when we had Rich. I have the Lions +3.5 against the Eagles.
Okay, it's possible.
I think the Lions are going to win. I legitimately do.
I think the Eagles win, but we'll save that talk for next week.
Yep.
After Sunday. All right, so the first game I got Jags Seahawks. I got Seahawks -3.5.
Seahawks -3.5. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's Geno Smith, right? Who knows?
Right.
It's the Jaguars who stink. I don't know.
They've been playing better.
Yeah, they are. Their offense is a little better. All right, so I'm going to go with the Bengals, who are red hot, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. -9.5 against the New York Jets.
Okay.
It's the Jets.
It's not gonna be a Joe Flacco led Jets.
You don't think so? Nah, probably not.
Probably not. Just new playbook. He's probably not even gonna be active, but
right. But
Okay.
minus 9.5, I'll take the Bengals because that offense is fun to watch, and the
I
Jets
gotcha.
are the Jets.
That's a good one. I like it. I got Patriots Chargers. Chargers minus 5.5.
Okay, I like it.
I think the Patriots are so unpredictable.
I was said the Patriots. You never know what they're gonna give you.
One week they're gonna be really good. They're gonna put up a ton of points. The next week they don't. So,
Yep.
I just think the Chargers are gonna outscore
Yeah,
them. So.
that's why I try to tend to stay away from Patriots games because they're just hit or miss. You just never know.
Right, and at this point, by week 7, 8, 9, you know what teams are.
Yep.
So, it's definitely a gamble.
Yep.
But that's what we do here. So
that's literally the point of the segment.
exactly.
I got the Cowboys minus 2.5 to the Vikings.
Okay, I looked at that game.
I like it.
I was going to do that as well, but I decided
not to. All right.
This next game, actually, the thing I forgot to bring up about the Eagles is the fact that what Rich said about how Jalen Hurts only hits his reads and people like that. But when this guy that I'm about to pick his game that I won there this past week used to hit his reads, people were upset that he didn't hit the open receiver. And that's how I'm going to go. Colts plus 1.5 against the Titans.
Oh, okay.
So people were pissed off last year that Carson Wentz hit his reads or tried to force it into his reads and didn't hit the open receiver, just like they're doing the opposite now with Jalen Hurts.
Of course.
They're justifying it.
Exactly.
So I'm going to go Colts 1.5 plus 1.
Dom is fired up.
I'm fired up.
Fired up. I like it. Who'd you say they played? The Colts plus 1.5 against who?
Titans.
Titans are coming off 2 big wins. I mean,
It's fine. That's fine. Carson's got it.
Can you
Carson's back.
Can you even? Well, for the running games, a big part of that offense.
Well,
Wentz,
yeah. I mean, name an offense that it's not.
not true, but I mean, so same thing with the Titans with Derrick Henry, who's a freak of nature. But the Tennessee beat
If only
Buffalo 2
Sirianni
weeks.
knew that. Sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off.
No, it's fine. But Tennessee beat Buffalo 2 weeks ago, and then they beat Kansas City, which it turns out Kansas City sucks now for some reason. They're just terrible. So maybe that win's not as
Right.
special or important or whatever. But we'll see. It's an interesting line. So I'm gonna go Green Bay and Arizona over 51.5.
Okay. I am going to have the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Packers Cardinals over 51.5.
Okay, I like it. I mean, it seems like we kind of keep picking Arizona games with the over because they just score a lot of points.
Yep.
It's kind of a
score 100
pattern.
points and they give up 100 points.
Right.
So,
And then my next over-under, I have the Washington football team and the Denver Broncos under 43.5. Because
Okay, I
those
actually looked at that one
offenses
as well.
stink.
yep. And their defenses stink too.
Yeah, well,
I looked at that one. I thought about it, but I went Rams Texans under 48.5 because I don't think the Texans are going to score more than like 10 points. So
yeah, but the Rams could probably put up 40 to 45 themselves.
they'll put up like 30.
Think so?
Yeah. Actually, I got 2 things real quick.
What was
Go
that?
ahead.
48.5?
Under 48.5. Yeah, Rams
Yeah.
Texans. So Scorigami yet again.
I saw this.
The final
This
score.
is your new favorite thing.
Yes, it is my new favorite. 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty crazy. It was what? Go ahead. It was the Texans and
I'm sorry, I was reading the comment. I blame Mahomes' brother for sucking. The
true.
brother's like a TikTok star apparently or
Yes,
something.
he
right?
is.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, Scorigami.
I'm hip to the jive, right? Scorigami. Sorry, go ahead. Who was it?
Yeah, I'm done talking about Mahomes' brother.
That's fine. I'll put that comment away. It's fine.
Scorigami, the Texans, I believe it was correct.
Oh, it was 31-5 or something like that.
I believe
or?
so. The Texans played. Yeah, 31-5.
31-5. There you go.
Never happened before.
The first, yeah, and there was another one this weekend where I think it's happened once before, so we got really close to Scorigami.
Okay, maybe it was that one.
No. That one is Scorigami, but there's another one
Okay.
where Scorigami almost happened.
Okay, it actually might have been the Rams. That's actually kind of funny.
What was the Rams?
No, it's not. 28-19. That's definitely been a score.
Yeah.
It might have been the Indy game, 30-18.
Maybe. I don't know. Whatever.
And then the other thing, did you know that the Arizona game, Zach Ertz is the first ever player in NFL history to score a touchdown consecutive weeks with 2 different teams
Really?
ever. Isn't that crazy?
I imagine that's the same season. Because
Correct.
I'm sure people have
Right.
scored in week 17,
And then
go to a
week
new
1.
team, score
Right.
week 1. I'm sure that's happened.
It's during the season. The
Okay.
first ever player to score consecutive weeks with 2 different teams during the season, obviously.
Right. We actually forgot to even mention that last week,
Yeah.
the trade. Did you have any thoughts about that trade that happened after the what was that, the Bucks game? Right.
It was right after the day after the Bucks game. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
He knew apparently.
You
before
could
the game
tell.
started.
You could tell when he was walking off. He seemed emotional. He was looking around. You could tell something was off. Yeah.
Right. I love Zach Ertz. Don't get me wrong. I'm
Sounds
not
like
the
you're about to tear up.
biggest. Yeah, no, I'm not the biggest Zach Ertz fan in the world. I think he's one of the greatest route running tight ends ever. He's got great hands, but there's just so much more of lacking in his game. I think he had 2 great years. If there was a Hall of Fame for like nice guys, he'd be a Hall of Fame lock.
What was lacking in his game? I'm curious.
Just yak blocking.
Which is funny. He had a 47-yard
Right.
touchdown on Sunday.
Right.
where
Something we
has
haven't
that
seen in
been?
9 years.
Right. Where has that been his entire career?
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's in the water. It's in the Philadelphia water.
Right.
Look, like I said, if there's a Hall of Fame for nice guys, Zach Ertz is first ballot, greatest ever, nicest guy in the world. But I just personally wasn't the biggest Ertz fan in the world. I appreciate what he did here. I love him. I love that he made Eagles football in my early 20s something like, you know what I mean. And I'm sad to see him go, but like it just kind of had to happen, in my opinion. You have to make way for the young guy. The whole contract thing the last couple of years has kind of rubbed me the wrong way. He was just as bad as Wentz. So I just kind of think it had to be done. And it's unfortunate to see a guy who's such a good guy
Right.
happen to him, but it's a business.
Yeah, it happens. We kind of all expected this to happen at some point. We all thought it was
Right.
going to happen in the off season. It's just happening, 6 to 8 months, whatever it is, later.
Right.
So it was bound to happen. But
Right.
yeah, we
and if
just
it wasn't
missed
going to
that.
be the trade deadline, it was going to be in free agency next year. So.
Right, yeah, because they weren't going to sign both of them, and it's obvious they want to move on with Goddard. As much as
Right.
they don't throw to him, because that's probably Hurts' doing, but as much as they don't throw to him, they want him to be their tight end moving forward.
It's so funny because like, what did Wentz do when he was here? He forced it to the tight end.
Yep.
Now that Hurts is here, he just doesn't throw it to the tight end. So it's like
No.
it's kind of funny how opposite it is.
It is, yeah. So, all right, let's move on to the Sixers then. So,
Okay.
they did start the season up on last Wednesday with a win over New Orleans. They followed that up with a loss to the Brooklyn Nets, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I had a brain fart. And then Sunday they won against Oklahoma City. What are your takeaways from the first 3 games?
It's been 3 very different games. The first game, I think, they came out a little shaky. The bench was a little shaky at first. They finished strong. I don't understand why Doc still uses the all-bench rotation. Makes you scratch your head a little bit, but, they went out there and they won, comfortably. The Brooklyn game, they're up the entire game. Come to the last couple minutes of the game, they go on Brooklyn goes on a 16-1 run. Again, Doc has you scratching your head. Danny Green with 3 air balls. Just kind of fundamentals. But it's the second game of the year. You're playing the Brooklyn, that's fine. And then you come out against Oklahoma City, which I did not get to watch the game, but from everything I'm hearing, the Sixers look good. Andre Drummond has looked really good this year coming off the bench. Embiid looks good. Seth Curry, Did you see anything about Seth Curry in this game?
No, I heard he had a good game though, right?
Okay, so he started the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, he had 23 points. He had 6 3-pointers.
Jesus.
Guess
Talk
how many
about
points?
hot.
Guess how many points he finished with in the game?
23?
23. What does that tell you? It's coaching.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
did he? How many more did he take after?
I don't know because
after
I
the
didn't
first
watch
quarter?
the game, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But from what
Because
I've
that
seen,
might be more telling than it just saying just flat out it's coaching.
Right. Maybe he could have missed 10 shots. Who knows? But
Right.
from what I've seen written about the game, a lot of people did blame Doc for his lack of game player coaching or play calling to get Seth, some more buckets. So
and Embiid, is Embiid playing MVP level yet? Or is he kind of warming up? I saw he had, I think, 22 points, and 19 points, something like that.
I think he's warming up.
Right around 21 points-ish.
I
mean, he's probably just warming up, just kind of feeling himself right now.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's just warming up right now. I did place on Wednesday $10 bet for MVP. I think it was plus 900. Yeah. So
okay,
we'll see. We'll see in a couple weeks. Maybe I'll take that back, but
right.
before it's too late. But But I think he's warming up. It's only 3-4 games into the year, so there's still a lot of time.
Right.
But he's doing a lot more too without Ben Simmons on the court. Like, dude, I don't know if you've seen any of the highlights, but like, he's taking rebounds and going down the court and just shooting. Like, it's crazy for a 7'3" or 7 foot big man like to do that. So, it's definitely strange to see, something we really haven't seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'll be completely transparent. I haven't watched the game yet. I think I turned the opening.
Yeah.
I turned the Brooklyn game on for like 5 or 10 minutes. So I haven't watched much of them yet. I plan to as the season kind of progresses. But how does their new starting point guard look? Because obviously Ben Simmons isn't going to be here probably. How's Maxey look? Because I feel like that's kind of how they're going to build this team, and not build because they have Joel, but he's going to be the distributor. It seems like, right?
For now, at least, yeah. I think he's looked solid. Again, he's a second-year player, so like, he's going to have his struggles still. He hits his free throws, so that's always nice. Who would have thought a point guard that hit his free throws, right? I think the first game he ended with 19 or 20 points. Okay. If he can average somewhere around like 16, 17 points, you might make some noise. So anything more than that's great. But I don't know if he's ready to take this role on full on yet. But ideally, I would have loved him to be coming off the bench. Like, say hypothetically, if they could have traded Simmons for a big time point guard like Lillard, I think if Maxey wouldn't have been in that deal, I think it would have been the most ideal situation is him coming off the bench as the sixth man. And I still feel that way, but he can't. So you kind of need him to be that guy for now.
Right.
And I'm not saying he's not ready for that. I'm saying, real quick, I'm not saying he's not ready for it, but I just think it would be better for him if he's coming off the bench at this point.
Right. Now, speaking of Ben Simmons, I know nobody really wants to talk about Ben Simmons at this point, but he had the suspension. Then you had him come back. Apparently, he faked a back injury, we're assuming. Then he claimed mental health, and he's not ready to come back with the team. Clearly, they still probably want to trade him eventually. Now, there's a disgruntled guy in Brooklyn. Would you trade if Brooklyn says yes, everything done? How do you feel about a Ben Simmons for Kyrie Irving trade?
Not at all. No? Not even a little bit. I just don't think we're gonna trade one mentally soft guy for another mentally soft guy. And I'm not saying Ben Simmons is mentally soft because of his anxiety, depression that he's claiming. I just think, obviously, from the way this offseason has gone, he's obviously mentally soft. You can agree with that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So I just don't think bringing another guy who's just as mentally soft. And look, Kyrie Irving is a good player. He can score. He can do everything that Ben Simmons can't offensively. But it's just like I just honestly, simply for the fact that I don't want to trade for a guy that he wakes up on a Monday morning and just like, yeah, I don't feel like playing today.
Right.
Just because he's just not there. Like, and I might not play for like 2 weeks. Just because I don't really I'm just not feeling it. And it's just like, to me, like that's a no-go. Like
right.
that is so much red flag.
I get a lot of my basketball knowledge from the one and only Charles Barkley. Okay. And he says it would be a good deal for both teams. He thinks it would legitimately be a good deal for both teams. But, that's Charles Barkley. He kind of says whatever.
No, I just think that like Kyrie's just on another planet, and I think he's a nice basketball player. I loved him in Cleveland, but like it's just he's not a winner either though. Like what is no, I wouldn't do it honestly. Yeah. I just wouldn't want him.
You'd rather just rot with Ben Simmons, pretty much.
I know, like that's the best part is like I just no. It's weird, man. It's I don't know, man. It's just this situation that they're in is so unique.
Yeah,
it's not the James Harden situation last year. Harden at least showed up and played.
You could argue he didn't really show up. Like I mean, I guess he technically did show up.
No, he showed up every game, every practice. He didn't want to be there. He gained 700 pounds, but
which I'm still convinced is a fat suit. That's an all-time conspiracy for me. Like he wore a fat suit to make people think that he really gained all this weight, and it made him somehow easier to trade against trade. I don't know how that works. I haven't thought out this conspiracy plan yet. I'm just saying, but because the next day he showed up for Brooklyn and looked like the same James Harden from.
Well,
4
I wouldn't
weeks
say he
ago.
looked like the same James Harden, but he definitely lost a lot of weight.
He lost 25 pounds in like.
No, he's still a little chubby. He's still a little chubby. He's not 2018 James Harden, 2017 James Harden. I mean, but he definitely. Hey man, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on the conspiracy. I like the conspiracy. I like conspiracy in general. You know.
Right. Exactly. What would be your ideal trade for Ben Simmons? It seems like obviously probably the Lillards or Beals, but like I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. But if that can happen, what's your ideal trade for him?
Dude, honestly, I don't even think that like the next tier trades are an option either. Because if they were, I think it would have happened. Like if it was, okay, if I can't have Lillard and Beal and Levine, like those big guys, I would love De'Aaron Fox, but that's not happening either. I would really like Colin Sexton a lot, but that doesn't look like it's happening. That could happen eventually, but only because I think Cleveland doesn't want to pay him. And if you look at his numbers every year, he gets better and better. Colin Sexton, so maybe that's a possibility in the future.
And I also
I don't know if the Sixers even like that enough.
Right, and they probably don't like this option too. And like you could tell me if I'm off base here, but like it seems as if Simmons comes with so much baggage and headaches and all that stuff that it seems like I don't know if you could just trade him. Like I feel like he's going to be involved in a package with a Maxey, a Thibault, something like that.
I don't know if Maxey and Thibault anymore. I think it depends. See, I think the only way, and again, I think this is kind of the way it's been most of the offseason of trading rumors, is that I think it's going to be more than two teams involved. So maybe you trade Tobias and Ben Simmons to two other teams, and you get two other guys from those teams, like a Colin Sexton and a Buddy Hield. You know what I'm saying? Like so you kind of you give up some, but you also get some. So I don't know that they trade. I don't think Thibault has enough value, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because of his offensive game.
Right.
But maybe you trade Maxey. But again, I still think that he's not ready to be that guy. So I don't think it's going to be like, well, it's Maxey or no deal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't think he makes or breaks deals. But I think it's more likely that you trade Simmons and Tobias, or Simmons and Curry, or like Simmons and probably not Danny Green, because Danny Green is fucking cooked. But bigger names, I think, are more likely to go with Simmons if you bring in other big names.
Right.
So
okay, I don't hate that answer. I guess time will tell, because it's and according to Daryl Morey, this could last another 4 years. You know what I mean?
It's not going to happen.
We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if we ever covered that. That might have happened after our last show.
I think it was after our show. It's not. Go ahead.
I just love the fact that he's just playing hardball.
Right. It's all pettiness. I think he's just. This was before the whole Ben Simmons thing happened. Like where, and we didn't really touch base with it that much. I mean, we kind of brought it up, the fact that he's dealing with this mental blockage or whatever it is. And again, that's a very slippery slope to like talk about, but like.
There was a report from I think it was Howard Eskin that said he's heard that he's like faking this mental illness thing, but I would argue if you're faking mental illness, I would say you have a mental illness personally.
True, right?
Like,
you could argue that, right? And that's the thing is it's fishy because you're allowed to be paid without playing. You can't be fined for mental blockage or mental illness. So when he said it was his back, obviously you can go through an MRI, and that shows that you have tightness in your back. You can't go through an MRI or anything like that to show you're dealing with mental illness. So
right.
How can you really prove
it's
it?
your word against theirs,
right?
Yeah.
Other than the fact that you sit down with a professional who can diagnose you, everybody has anxiety, like you know what I mean? Everybody has some kind of mental illness wrong with them that maybe they're not sure. So I'm sure he does have something,
for sure.
So it's definitely a slippery slope, man. It's tough. It's a tough situation.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's dealing with a Kardashian issue. Hey, listen, it's not a bad issue to have. You know.
Well, it depends what the issue is.
Right.
With the Kardashians. So.
Yeah, that's also true. All right, Dom, hit me with some trivia.
Oh, you don't sound too happy with that one.
I'm not confident, you know.
So I thought originally Rich was going to be on the show a lot longer, so I did have a Sixers question thrown in here, but I just changed it up a little bit.
Good, because I would get the Sixers.
No, I mean
wrong.
you're still getting a Sixers question. It's just a different Sixers question that's a little bit easier.
No,
yeah,
really,
it's a little bit easier. Yeah.
All right, hit me with that one,
dude.
First,
honestly, the original question that I was going to have for him was, what college did Eric Snow attend? And there's no shot you get that. So. Even if you get it, it doesn't count.
UConn.
No.
Syracuse.
No.
Duke. North Carolina.
Okay. No. All right. It's Michigan
answer?
State, but
I would have gotten there eventually.
Shut up. No, you
That's
weren't.
a big school. I would have gotten there eventually.
Yeah, after 20 tries.
Yep.
Okay, so we got everybody knows the rules. If you're listening, hit the pause button, answer the question, then hit play. Okay, so we got 2 Eagles, 1 Sixers, 1 Flyer, and 1 Phillies. We're dipping here.
There you go. Let's hit the Sixers question first, because
Oh,
I want to
here
get
we
that.
go.
I want to get that out of the way. I don't want to deal with that anymore. I'm pissed off you even added a Sixers question. So let's get this
Guess
out of
what?
the way.
Honestly, if you don't, this isn't the easiest question in the world, but it's also very gettable. So okay,
I started paying attention to the Sixers 8 months ago. All right, leave me alone.
All right, so maybe you won't get it. What college? What college did Joel Embiid attend?
Kansas.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer. Yeah,
That's-
I do
that's
know.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did know that one. All right.
Okay. All right, you're starting off hot. 1 for 1.
There you go. 1 for 1.
All right. Now, where do you want to go here?
Let's go Flyers, because apparently if I end with Flyers, it's like a fucking crime, apparently.
Oh, really? From who?
Didn't you say that somebody was saying that I always say I end Flyers and you get pissed off? That happened weeks ago.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fine.
So, Flyers. Who leads the Philadelphia Flyers all time in power play goals scored with 145?
So I want to say, because it's Drew's at the top. I don't know if he's 1 or 2.
Okay, that's not an answer.
I know it's not an answer. I'm thinking. This is all going on in my mind right now, Dom. You know what? Let's go with Claude Giroux.
Is that your final
That's
answer?
my final answer.
It is incorrect.
Is it Barber?
It is not.
Is it Kerr?
Which he leads the Flyers in all-time goals.
Is it Tim Kerr?
The underrated Tim Kerr. The most underrated Philadelphia Flyer of all time, Tim Kerr.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
4 straight 50-goal seasons.
I believe Giroux's creeping his way up there.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was top 3.
Yeah.
Okay. With a, and I'm sure we'll get into it, but a rocket of a
shot, absolutely.
Against Florida this
Florida,
weekend.
yep.
Okay, so where are we going? Phillies or Eagles? We got 2 Eagles and 1
Let's
Phillies.
go with the Eagles.
Okay. So, can you name the 2 players tied with the most punt returns for touchdowns in Eagles history with 4 apiece?
Deshaun Jackson.
Yep, that's 1.
Darren Sproles.
Is that your final?
Yeah.
It's correct.
Oh, look at that.
And I gave you 2 because I thought Rich was going to be on, so I thought maybe he could help. But
Right. Okay.
But yeah, okay. All right, what do you got here? 2 for 3?
Yep, there you go.
All right.
I got 1 wrong so far.
Okay, so the next Eagles. This player is the career touchdown leader of the Philadelphia Eagles with 79 career touchdowns.
This is total touchdowns, right?
Correct.
Not just receiving, not just rushing.
Total. Yep.
And this is not passing either.
No,
Is
it's
correct.
correct.
That would not be a lot of touchdowns.
Donovan is like, yeah, Donovan is ahead by like 100.
I was gonna say that would not be a lot of touchdowns. 79. Touchdowns. I have no idea where I want to take this. Let's go. Where do I want to go? Let's go with Brian Westbrook. I don't think that's right though.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Man, I tried to give you an underhand here. Every week you say Harold Carmichael.
Is it Carmichael?
Every week you say Harold Carmichael or Mike Quick.
Yeah. I was actually going to say Carmichael too.
It's Harold Carmichael.
Yeah, I was gonna say him, but I thought maybe you were trying to throw me a curveball.
No,
you know
man,
what I mean?
I was trying underhand softball.
Yeah.
Super slow pitch.
Yep.
All right, we got the last one. Phillies with 499 career starts. What Phillies pitcher holds the team record for most career starts?
With 499.
Yep.
You couldn't start one more to get to 500.
I know.
Anyway, so repeat the question. These were all with the Phillies, or
Yes. Yep. The most career starts for the Phillies. With 499 career starts, what Phillies pitcher holds the team record for most career starts?
no? Huh. Do I go Carlton? Do I go Hamels? Was it one of them? Who knows? Let's go with Carlton. I'll go
Is that your
Carlton.
final answer?
Yep.
You're correct.
There you go. All right. Yeah, that's a pretty good week for me. Uh-oh. Dom, do we lose you? Uh-oh. We got some audio issues. I'm gonna have to I don't know, Dom. We're just gonna have to wing it at this point.
You can't hear me?
You're echoey and distorted, and you're frozen right now. You have your arms in the air like this, and now I'm just kind of improvising to kill time. No, we're not good. Oh,
we're not good.
I think we're good.
Okay.
We're good now.
All right.
All right,
That was weird because everything was fine on my end for both of us.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you're good now.
So that sounds like a you issue and not a me issue.
Listen, I was fine on my screen. I wasn't frozen. Just you were frozen.
None of us were frozen on my screen. Everything was fine.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, Dom. I don't know what to tell you.
It sounds like it's Jersey problems.
Let's move on. All right, you want to go? You want to go into Flyers talk?
Sure thing.
Before, do you want to do the giveaway for the shirt?
Yeah, man, I've been waiting all episode.
I know it's really been the last two shows because we extended it back. So hold on, let me pull this up here. All right, so the giveaway, the winner is. Let's run this. Michael Testa.
Let's go.
Let's go. I think he's in the chat. I think he's in the chat somewhere. Where's he at? You here? I think he's here somewhere. If not, but we'll DM you on either Twitter or Facebook. We'll get your information and send you that shirt, the Phired Up shirt.
Awesome.
But anytime you rock it and people ask where you got it, just point them in the right direction. That's all I ask.
Hey man, I think he's our biggest fan. I mean,
I think so.
Every week
Yep.
he watches every week.
Yep.
If
anybody's gonna win the shirt, I'm glad it was him.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we'll
we'll reach out to you.
Yeah, we'll reach out but let's go into regular hockey talk. Flyers with what did they do this week? They beat the Bruins 6-3, and then they lost to the Panthers 4-2. Which I was actually at in the press box for the first time. That was cool. It was a cool experience.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into that a little bit too.
We can get into that with the Florida game, but first,
for sure,
we'll talk about the Bruins game 6-3. You had Martin Jones' first start, which I actually thought he played pretty well. I mean, he had a couple bad bouncy goals, but I think he faced 39 shots.
Right.
First ever contest.
Michael is fired up.
He is fired up. I like it. But yeah, no, I think he faced 39 shots. He faced a lot of shots, high volume shots. So I thought he played well. And again, you put up 6 goals against the Boston Bruins. It seems like this Flyers team can score. Joel Farabee and Cam Atkinson and Brassard is the kind of the third wheel to that line. I mean, it's been tremendous to watch.
Absolutely. And just going back to that Martin Jones point, I mean, I think at least two of them off the top of my head. I mean, Wednesday was so long ago, but
It was.
at least two of them, maybe all three of them, especially the third goal, was just a team breakdown. It wasn't necessarily Jones's fault. I just think it was just kind of an unlucky bounce.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, we saw the play of Ristolainen hitting who was it, Charlie Coyle in the corner, and since that point on, it was just kind of a more physical game, and you saw the Flyers kind of take over at that point.
Yeah, he hit Coyle behind the net. Coyle got frustrated,
right?
And then ended up taking a penalty 10 seconds later because he was just frustrated, and then they score on the ensuing power play. So Ristolainen doesn't get credit for an assist or anything, but something he did ultimately led to a goal.
And who else doesn't get credited for any kind of first round pick that we used to get him?
Wait, what?
You just said Ristolainen doesn't get any credit for for any kind of goal or anything.
Yeah,
neither does the first round pick that we traded for him, because that guy wouldn't be up here for another 5 years anyway. So
that's also true. That is also true.
Right. So, I mean, obviously watching that Farabee, Brassard, Atkinson line has been a lot of fun. Atkinson brings so much to this team, man. Not even just being a pure sniper, but the speed and smarts he has and chemistry he has with these two guys. I think you ride out the second line as long as possible, even when Kevin Hayes comes back.
I agree.
You said it on Twitter, I think. We said for so long what happens when Nolan Patrick becomes the second line center. It'll be great to see Patrick or Hayes go to the third line, and now, not that Brassard is this young up and coming center or anything like that, but if Kevin Hayes is your third line center, I mean, you're probably in a good spot, and if Brassard struggles, you move them.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you could have flexibility there with how well that second line's playing. If Brassard falters or whatever, starts playing, he could always play down the lineup, and you can move Hayes up because Hayes is more than capable of playing a top six role.
Right.
It's really just kind of how the team is playing, and
and even having Brassard's abilities is like he can play the second, third, or fourth line if you need him to. So it's always good to have those kind of guys. I mean, even if it's just, let's say hypothetically, Hayes comes back and they do put him on the second line, and then 20 games down the road, Hayes has, gets a bruised leg or something, you know what I'm saying? And he's out for 2 or 3 games. You have a guy you could put back in that second line. So it's always good to have the flexibility, like you said.
Absolutely. The one thing I will say is, because I feel like nobody really talks about the top line all that much, because you kind of know what to expect from them. Connecting, he's actually having a pretty decent start.
Yeah.
He's seems like he's backed up his old self. He seems engaged, which is good. But I need to see more from Sean Couturier, at least offensively.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just need to see more from him. He's not really doing much on the offensive side of the puck, and when you pay him that contract, the 7.5, 7.75, right around there. You pay him that much, you gotta score, or at least help put the puck in the net. You gotta have better offensive numbers. So that's my one kind of negative so far when it comes to the offense. But that's probably me just nitpicking at this point.
And I agree with that. But I'm not worried yet. It's 4 games into the year, so when we get to 10, 12, 15 games and he's still struggling. I think he's got 1 goal, it was an empty netter against Boston. But, when we get to that 12, 13, 15 game stretch, or part in the season, I think maybe we should start worrying then. But I think it's just super early right now. We're just trying to get going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Yeah, and then my one negative on the back end on the defense, because I always gotta have negatives. You know how I roll. Travis Sanheim is
the definition of Negadelphia.
Right, exactly.
Is Mike Gilletto.
Exactly. But Travis Sanheim is fucking terrible.
I'll add somebody to that list as well.
Who's that?
Nick
Rich?
Obik. What?
Rich?
No. Knack.
Oh! I thought you meant the Negadelphia.
No. The list of the Flyers that we could be very negative about.
Okay, yeah.
We'll
We'll get into Aube Kubel in a second, but Travis Sanheim, I think, has been playing terribly. I've never seen a defenseman other than Ghost not know how to play defense.
Right.
When he's in his own zone, he has no idea what to do. Especially like covering like the front of the net. There's guys just that are wide open, just camping out in front. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. And he had a play, gave Florida the lead in the second game. That went right through him, that he should have broke up. It's just he just hasn't played well at all, and I need to see him improve because if they don't, there's holes in this defense.
I agree completely. Also, add the fact that he is, how big is he? 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah, something like that.
230 pounds or whatever he is.
Yeah,
and he gets
I don't know if he's
thrown
that
around.
big. I don't know if he's that heavy. I don't know if he's that heavy.
Okay,
Like,
so
I think he's 6'3" or 6'2", but I don't know if he's that heavy. He's a skinny guy.
okay, so but he gets thrown around like he is.
He does. He's
5'8",
Yep.
120 pounds. Like that's always been my biggest thing with him. Just his ability on the boards, like he just gets manhandled sometimes, and I'm definitely gonna need to see some more strong play from him. Literally strong play. So, it's just a combination of a bunch of things.
No, I don't know when this weight that I have right now on EliteProspects.com, so this might even have been when he was drafted. I don't know. 6'3", 181. They have him listed.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So I don't know when that was. I don't know if that's been updated since, but
And I'll use your dad's famous line, is
Okay.
The Flyers have just always been not able to like really develop guys in the strength department. Like, man, this guy has just been around for how long? 4 years for us, and like he's still the same size he was 3 years ago.
right.
I mean, you see it especially in the last like 15 years of the Flyers. You just kind of see it. So it's definitely one of the negatives about Sanheim's game.
Yeah, for sure, because he loses every board battle, and he can't cover the front of the net. Like in the defensive zone, he's just not good.
I don't know if he's a good skater in general.
Like when he's skating forward, I think he's decent and he can move the puck fairly well, at least in the neutral
Right.
zone and offensive zone. He's okay, but there's so much negative to his game in his own zone that he's a detriment right now. Like, he's a liability.
Yeah, for sure.
And we can talk about Aubé-Kubel for a second. It seems like you have a little beef with Nick Aubé-Kubel. So what? So here you go. I'll let you rant right now.
Well, no, it's just
So
more
go
the
ahead.
fact. It's more the fact that, like, especially in the bubble, I feel like he played so well for a fourth liner, fourth liner, bottom six guy. So like, I don't know, man. And I guess the expectations shouldn't be so high, but like, he was one of the positive things that we've seen the last couple years of this team. Just taking bad penalties, turning the puck over, just stupid play from a guy that has shown that he can make smart plays. So it's definitely disappointing to see. I don't see him sticking around in the starting lineup much longer, right? I mean, at some point, if he keeps
especially
playing this
if
way,
especially if like Patrick Brown is ready to come back or not
Right.
come back, but is ready to play because he was out with like a COVID issue or something. I think he had COVID.
okay,
So he was out, and that's the guy they claimed off of Vegas, I believe. So we'll see what happens with when Brown is ready to play. If they scratch or send down Aubé-Kubel because he hasn't been good. You see him take dumb penalties, like the tripping one in the Florida game.
the boarding penalty against Seattle,
Right.
they're up 3-0. I mean, there's
Yep.
no reason to take bad penalties like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes they kind of just happen, but like, I just feel like it just keeps happening with him.
Right.
So and I think it would be beneficial for him to sit in the press box for a game or
Right.
two and just kind of see the game from above.
Yeah, he probably needs that because like 2 or 3 seasons ago, like his I think it was his rookie year or his first year here. I thought he looked really well. He was hitting everything that moved. He would just try to get the puck on net, and he was just kind of a ball of energy.
Right.
And I just haven't seen that since that first year here.
Probably since the bubble. That was the
Right.
bubble.
I think it was the
believe.
season of the bubble. The bubble.
That's what I'm saying.
probably,
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like I said, he was one of the very few. I mean, I think he looked all right last year too. At some points, like he was one of the few positives of last year to a certain degree.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, and again, he's a fourth liner, so like we're not talking about Giroux here. You know what I'm saying?
No, we're nitpicking for sure.
Right. But it definitely doesn't help a team that's trying to compete.
Right.
Taking stupid penalties, turning the puck over, things like that.
Yeah, I mean the Florida game, they were they had seven penalties.
Right.
They spent 14 minutes on the penalty kill.
You're not going to win games like that.
No, you're not.
Especially against probably the best defensive team in the league. So, I mean, just imagine if Florida's power play was on. I mean, if they can get that thing going, man, they're gonna go far because they're great defensively.
They are. Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's what they go 1 for 7 on the power play. So
how
that
crazy
helps.
is that?
And the Flyers scored a shorthanded goal too.
So they're 1 for 7, just like the Eagles in the red zone.
Right, exactly.
So,
but back to the Florida game because I was in the press box for it.
Yes, I want to hear all about that.
Okay, so it was a cool experience. I'm definitely gonna do it again
for sure.
So I mean, what did you want to hear? Like, it's a much different experience when you're in the press box. You're basically there to work.
For sure.
When I'm there, I represent Belly Up Sports and Phired Up. So it's I can't really cheer. You can't really be a fan. Just kind of have to sit back and watch the game. So I was watching it in a different angle for sure.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, and we texted while you were there. We talked about it, but just like I don't know. I just kind of wanted to hear. I guess you kind of got the point there that or came across. Your point came across there as you're there to work.
Right.
You're definitely not there to cheer on your team. So
exactly.
Yeah, it definitely sounded like a cool experience from what you said. So.
Absolutely, and with the thing that sucks is, I mean, and I get it why they do it, but we can only have one person go per media outlet, so like we couldn't both go. So right. I'm hoping eventually, so maybe sometime soon you'll do it and get that experience.
Yeah,
as
for
well.
sure. I definitely would be interested, but with the Sixers as well. So
yeah, absolutely,
possibly doing that.
Right, but at first I didn't know like where I was going, or like when I got all the way up there, I sat down on like a random seat. Right. I was like, this doesn't feel right. So I texted our friend Kevin Durso that we had on a couple weeks ago. I was like, yo, where do I sit? Is there assigned seating? What's the deal here? I just got up here. What do I do? And he directed me. He's like, no, there's a TV on the wall. It's right near the elevator. Tells you where your seat is. So Kevin was a big help, and I definitely appreciate that.
Absolutely.
But no, it was a cool experience, and I'll definitely do it again. I plan on maybe doing 1 or 2 games a month for the season, and we'll see what happens from there. But
yeah, I saw that you circled March 1st.
March 1st, yes.
McJesus.
Exactly.
McJesus comes to town.
Yes, because Connor McDavid is must watch.
Yep.
And I haven't seen McDavid play it live. And
you get to see him from the top.
Right.
Exactly. From the top of the stadium, so you'll see him go from end to end like McJesus.
Exactly. So I'm excited for that. That's in a long ass time, but it is.
Who's faster, McDavid or Zach Ertz on Sunday when he ran the 47-yard touchdown?
McDavid could crawl and be faster than Zach Ertz. How does I just don't understand. Don't get me started on Zach Ertz actually running 47 yards. Because we haven't seen that in a decade of Zach Ertz.
Right.
So the Flyers do go. Speaking of Connor McDavid, you do go out and have a nice little Western Canadian road trip. Starts Wednesday against the Oilers. Connor McDavid and the Oilers. I plan on staying up and watching those games. 10:00 start, so it's a little rough. They are on TNT, so you get that nice little broadcast there. I'm excited for it. I'm curious to see if they go hard, because they have a back-to-back Wednesday and Thursday. They have Wednesday, they have the Oilers. Thursday, they have Vancouver. And then Saturday, they have Calgary. I'd imagine they'll go Carter Hart against the Oilers.
They are.
Jones.
Yes.
They are. They've already.
Yeah, they've announced.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Oh,
so both guys are playing in their hometowns. So Carter Hart's from the Edmonton area. He's playing in Edmonton, and then Martin Jones is from the Vancouver area. He's starting in Vancouver.
Okay. All right. Well, nice.
Yeah. So I love the late night hockey. It's like baseball.
It's great.
When the Phillies go play the Giants and Dodgers and Arizona for 3 series, and you get to stay up late, but it's too early in the season for me. It's way too early. I imagine that the Flyers are happy they don't have to go in January or February like usual.
Right. Yeah.
So to Western Canada. So we're really Canada in general, but
So I just got a little sidetracked. This is off topic. It's NHL adjacent, but I was looking at the scores. And the surprise so far, the surprise of the young season, and I mentioned it when I was on Drunk on Ice on Thursday. The surprise of the young season so far has been the Buffalo Sabres starting 3 now. They're currently 4-1-1, and tonight they beat the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions Tampa Bay Lightning 5-1.
Well, Vasilevsky didn't start.
He didn't?
Nah.
Oh, was that Brian Elliott?
Yeah.
Well, still 5-1.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I mean, Vasilevsky isn't their whole team, so they're still a great team. You know, it's definitely
5-1.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's definitely fun to see. Without Jack Eichel too. So.
Right.
I thought you were going to say
Exactly.
Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been surprising. Without Crosby, without Malkin, without Letang.
They have been. They stomped all over Toronto the other day, 7-1, I think it was.
Right, with all those guys out.
Right.
So,
well, Toronto's gonna have a meltdown soon enough. They lost tonight against Carolina.
Right. So how much to get Austin Matthews here?
Yeah, they're not moving Austin Matthews. They'll move either Marner or
unless
Nylander.
Phoenix or Arizona has something to say about it.
Yeah, they're not moving. They're not moving Tavares.
Hey, man.
Or not Tavares, Matthews.
I saw something in the
franchise.
offseason.
Nah, they're not.
I saw something in the offseason.
What'd you see in the offseason?
That he might decide to go to free agency because he doesn't want to stay in
I
Toronto.
mean, free agency maybe.
Right.
But
That's
still,
Arizona's paving
that's still
the
like
way.
3 or 4 years away, I think.
No, I think it's after next year.
Is it really?
It's either after this year or next year.
I don't believe you.
They are absolutely paving the way to try to make it happen.
He is from the area, obviously.
Yeah, he's from Arizona.
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking up his.
But yeah, but going back to
Contract.
the real quick, going back to the
He's got 3 years
Western
left.
Hockey. Okay, so what's that?
So not-
2024.
2024, he becomes a free agent. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, 3 years. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I it's 3 years away, so we're not a Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, but
No, we're not. Don asks who's a sniper that the Flyers can get at the deadline. That's a
Johnny
thing.
Gaudreau.
Yeah, there
He's
you go.
not a sniper, but-
I was gonna say, he's not really a sniper. He's more of a setup playmaker kind of
Right.
guy. That's a thing. Like teams like Buffalo, Detroit, the teams who probably shouldn't be near the top are playing really well right now. I think they're
But it's still early.
It's still early, so things could change. I don't know who's going to be out there. I mean, maybe a Tarasenko is available again. That'd be an interesting one. I don't know how anybody's going to clear up 6 or 7 million. But if he's available, I'd be interested. I'm trying to
Also,
figure
can I point out the fact that why wasn't I asked that question? It was directed to Mike. I'm a hockey guy. I'm the hockey guy on this podcast, so I'm the guy.
You say you didn't listen to the whole entire Drunk on Ice episode yet, right?
No, I have to finish it. I listened to most of it.
Okay.
Or at least half of it.
At the end of it, Don says he does want you to come on because
Okay.
you were a little upset that you didn't get asked.
Hey, man, look, if the invitation's there, I don't know if I'm going to accept it. I mean, we'll have to see.
You're playing hardball now.
We'll have to see.
You're playing hard to get.
Yeah. That's what you got to do, man.
Oh, that's great.
That's all right, though.
Is there anybody else? I mean, I know these things are super early. Anybody else you kind of are keeping an eye on for a trade deadline acquisition? The problem is the Flyers have almost zero cap space.
Right.
So unless you're moving a JVR, unless you're moving a Travis,
And that's going to be
Sanheim,
tough.
Yeah, unless you're moving those guys, I don't know if you can really bring in a
sniper,
high tier
right.
sniper.
I think if Couturier gets going and Atkinson stays and Farabee stays at this rate,
You might not need one.
right? That's what I'm saying. I think if you go up and you get another setup guy like Gaudreau, who we've said on the show before the last couple weeks is friends with Kevin Hayes and Keith Yandel and those guys in Atkinson.
And one guy that I one time
Yeah, here we
bodied
go.
the fuck out of.
Yeah, we know.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
that's my claim to fame. Because when Kevin was on, we really didn't get into that story. So you know what? This is
Here we go.
I'm
All right, let me just get comfortable.
I drive the bus.
I've heard this story 700 times.
So now,
Let's go.
Granted, I was like 12, 13. maybe even younger. I don't even.
And he was probably like
remember
10.
He was 11 or 12.
No, he's younger than you.
Yeah, by like
2 years.
Nah, like a year.
No, he's like 27, isn't he?
Hold on.
How old are you?
Yeah. I'm 29 now.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me
But
talk.
go ahead
yourselves.
anyway. Whether
No, it's
you're
fine.
12
I
or
want
13
to get
or
this,
15.
I want to get the
whatever.
story right. He's 28 years old. He was born August 13th of 1993, which makes him a year and 2 months and 10 days older than me.
Okay, but when you're like 12
sorry,
and he's
younger than
11, when you're 12 and he's 11, like that's a big age. That's a big development age.
I'm just okay. Here's
Jump.
the story. Here's the story. I'm playing defense for some. I don't even know why. I wasn't even.
That's
really
the first
defenseman.
mistake.
I'm not even really a defenseman. He's coming down in the neutral zone, right? Well, I'm back skating. I'm approaching my own blue line. All right. He tries to fake a move inside, right? And
okay.
me, because of the fucking sound defense that I played.
Yeah, I'm sure.
he
Selkie winner Mike Gillette out here.
I didn't bite on that. I didn't bite on that inside move. I stayed with him. He tries to go outside.
You're like the
and use
Ben
his speed
Simmons. You're like the
he-
Ben Simmons of Pee Wee hockey. Let's
Except
go.
I show up and I
Okay.
work.
Touche, motherfucker.
Exactly. So then he tries to cut outside by trying to get me to bite inside. I didn't bite. I go with him outside, and he tries to use his speed because he was fast. He still is, obviously. He was a fast kid. And I wasn't having any of it, and I absolutely obliterated him into the boards. It was a fucking wonderful sight.
Okay,
Yeah.
the first thing wrong with this story
Okay.
is you are somebody who said on the show that you don't have a very good memory, right? Like of things like for trivia and things like that.
Uh-huh.
I don't believe anything you just said. That's first. Secondly, you're like I said before, when you're 12 years old and he's 11, a year and 2 months younger than you, your body is way more developed than his in that short year. So if you didn't destroy him,
I understand your points. However, he is a current NHL player.
but he was
So
a
I would
current
argue-
NHL player at 11.
I'm just saying he had the talent to one day be an NHL player. So I feel like
11.
that. So but still, I feel like that talent gap between us outweighs the body differences that maybe we had because I was a year more developed. So I'm just saying, just give me a little bit of goddamn, give me a fucking break or catch whatever the movie the line is from Superbad.
I don't remember what line, what part.
The part where he's cooking the tiramisu. Just give me a fucking break.
Oh yeah. I'll give you this one. Fine.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You
I
don't
mean,
feel good about it. So.
No, I don't, because you got asked to be on a podcast that I didn't. So
Yeah.
I'm clearly the hockey guy. So you already had one.
Right.
So
Well, listen,
I'm just messing around.
We completely went a different direction than I didn't expect the show to go. Let's get out of here. Do you have anything else before we leave?
You're
here?
Jimmy's brother. You're Jimmy's brother, the singer.
Oh goodness, this show has turned into a giant shit show.
What else is new?
That's true. I feel like that's a weekly.
I'm just fucking
occurrence.
around. You bodied Gaudreau, and you at 11
Just
years
give
old.
me credit. That's all I want.
Well, all right, fine. I'll give it to you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
It only validates if like he becomes a Flyer. So
How does it only I don't
because
understand.
nobody watches Calgary, nobody cares about Gaudreau right now.
That's probably true. So, all right, we're gonna get out of here. Anything else that you want to plug? Anything before we get out of here? We've gone long, so I don't even know where to take it. My intro is all sorts of fucked up, or my outro is all sorts of fucked up because I don't even. This show went off the rails.
I don't think so. I see that you're having a hard time in fantasy again this week, but
No, I'm winning.
oh, you had 2 hat tricks. I thought.
Oh, fantasy hockey. I thought you were
Yeah,
talking
fantasy
about
hockey.
baseball. Yeah, nobody cares about my fantasy hockey team. 0-2 because on Friday I was playing against 2 guys that had hat tricks. So
And then
that was a lot of points that
yeah.
didn't go my way. So I'm 0-2, but it's fine. I'll be there when the playoffs happen. That's all I care about.
All right, we'll see. Your team might get bodied like Johnny Gaudreau got bodied by Mike Gillette in 2007.
hold on,
2004.
Mac Bros' new short film, Spectre Detectors, on YouTube. Go watch it. I haven't heard about this. I saw they posted something on their Instagram or Twitter. I forget where I saw it, but I haven't watched it yet. So yeah, go check out the Mac Bros on YouTube. Spectre Detectors. There you go.
For show.
I'll while
get
I'm
you
editing,
that for show.
While I'm editing this episode to go up, maybe I'll go check that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, we're gonna get out of here. Follow us everywhere at Phired Up Podcast. This was a giant shit show. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and yeah, that's it. Check out our merch store, Bonfire, Phired Up, and yeah, we will see you guys next week.